vyasam
Devim saraswatim vyasam
tato jayam udirayet Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya
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 Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
So today we will read a few texts starting from text 9 in the chapter 18, canto 6. The chapter is entitled Diti vows to kill King Indra. So we will start with text 9. Tat karma guna viryani kashyapasya mahatmana paschat vakshyamahe dityam yateva tataraha. Translation. Later in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I shall describe how Urukram, Lord Vamanadeva, appeared as the son of the great sage Kashyap, and how he covered the 3 worlds with 3 steps. I shall describe the uncommon activities he performed, his qualities, his power, and how he took birth from the womb of Aditi. Next verse. Ata Kashyapa Dayadan Daiteyan Kirtayamite Yatra Bhagavataha Shriman Prarado Bali Evacha. Now let me describe the sons of Diti who were begotten by Kashyap but who became demons. In this demoniac family, the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj appeared, and Bala Maharaj also appeared in that family. The demons are technically known as Daityas because they proceeded from the womb of Diti. Next verse. Ditir dvav eva dayadau Daityada navavanditau Hiranyakashipur nama Hiranyakshash Chakirtitau. First, the 2 sons named Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha took birth from Diti's womb. Both of them were very powerful and were worshipped by the Daityas and Danavas. Next verse. Jambhasya tanaya satu Sushuve chatura sutam Samradam praganurhadam Radam praradam Tatsvasa simhika nama Rahum viprachito grahit. The wife of Hiranyakashipu was known as Kayadhu. She was the daughter of Jamba and a descendant of Danu. She gave birth to 4 consecutive sons known as Samlad, Anulad, Lad, and Pralad. The sister of these 4 sons was known as Simhika. She was married to the demon Viprachit and gave birth to another demon named Rahu. Next verse. Shiro hara yasya harish chakrena pipatu mritam samradasya kritir bharya suta pancha janam tata. While Rahu, in disguise, was drinking nectar among the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead severed his head. The wife of Samlad was named Kriti. By union with Samlad, Kriti gave birth to a son named Panchajana. I think we can talk enough for a class on just what we have read now. There is no purpose, unfortunately, in these verses. The next purpose, which comes after like 5-6 verses, is very short, and then also one is covering so many other stories. So I think it's okay we just discuss what we have here now. It's enough to digest the few things we have read now. It contains volumes of information. So to begin with, Shukadeva Goswami, who is narrating to Parikshit these historical accounts. First of all, the nature of Bhagavatam, actually the nature of all Puranas, is they're narrating historical accounts. That's why they are grouped together also with the Itihasas, which are also known as the Vedic historical chronicles. So the Puranas and Itihasas, they're telling the stories of bygone times, not only on this planet but also on the other planets in the universe. Not only in this specific age we are now, Kali Yuga, but also in the previous Yuga. Actually, most of those stories are from previous Yugas. Not so many stories are from Kali Yuga. Actually, it's hardly any stories in these Itihasas and Puranas from Kali Yuga, because these texts were written down at the verge of Kali Yuga. So it's actually from Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga. But it may also be previous ages before that. But they are real. That's the point. These are real stories. It's just not understood by the so-called modern scholars, because they're from uncultured families. The so-called people who call themselves scholars in these books, they didn't receive the books by a guru through a disciplic succession, a bona fide succession. They actually can't understand the books, and so they think they are mythology. Actually, the original reason why they started reading these books in the first place, the Western people, was because they were Christians, and they learned the language, and they wanted to actually just before even they read them, they just wanted to read them to use, so they had the information enough to preach against the Hindus, that they should give up this and take to Christianity. That was actually the purpose. So no wonder why they call all this for mythology, and they don't even know any of these stories. And also, we go thousands and thousands of years before, because the original Christians who came to learn these texts, they actually believed in the world was only 6,000 years old. The first Sanskrit scholars and so on, they actually believed the world was only 6,000 years old. So that's why they say, oh, this must be mythology. Several thousands of years before, I think the world came 6,000 years ago. And all these sages and saintly persons, they said, no, there is only one saintly person, that's Jesus, and only He is the Messiah. And so all these others are some are other demons in disguise, as saintly person. You're just worshipping demons. That's what they preach to the Hindus. And another way they preached, the Englishmen were especially good at this. They imported coffee and tea. Actually, didn't start in India, coffee and tea. It was actually, started by the English people. So they gave it for free to the workers and so on. And also they propagated meat eating. That comes hand in hand with Christianity also. So they converted Hindus to start drinking tea and coffee, eat meat, and demonize Christians like this, and give up the Hindu religion as mythology, like that. So that's the demoniac, of course. So we should take a look at this, some traits of demoniac qualities. Not so much to point the finger on others, but to see in ourselves, because we are from this background. So we're getting some historical information here from Shukadeva. We have two names being mentioned here which are important. The name is Aditi and Diti. Aditi is the mother of the the 12 demigods known as Adityas. These 12 demigods are also known as sun gods. Aditya is also another name. Aditya is also another name for the sun. Like we have this verse in Bhagavad Gita, Aditya Varna Tamasat. Just like the luminous sun, you're dispelling the darkness. Honor to Krishna. I think it's from the Vedic scriptures. So Aditya is another name of the sun. So these are all good deva, very divine. This is the source of the divine people in the world, is Adityas. Because Kashyapa is operating in the very beginning of the universe. He's called a Prajapati, which means progenitor. What can you say in Danish for this? Stamfather, progenitor. So he was actually given in charge to actually do the real work of producing all the different species in the universe, most of the species. He got 13 sons from, he got 13 daughters of Daksha. Daksha is also known as one of the main Prajapatis. So he had 13 daughters and he gave them all to Kashyap. Actually he had more daughters, I think. But 13 he gave to Kashyap. So Kashyap, he got the two most famous, you can say, is Aditi and then Diti. So Diti, she only got 3 sons, not as many as Aditi. These 3 sons, they are all called demons. Now when they ask why, well, that is because of the personality of Diti herself. Now Kashyap, he is known as a saintly person. That's okay, but he had one good wife, you can say, and one bad wife. Of course, she was also religious, but she was more weak in her self-control. You can say she had more negative tendencies. So it's explained that when she got Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, that was Prabhupada explains this. This account is given in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam. How Diti she just wants to have a child like this, and Kashyapa, as a nice husband, he said that the husband is supposed to actually. This is a warning. If you want to get married, you have to be prepared to give a child to your wife. If the wife wants it, this is like actually the duty of a husband according to Shastra. It's not only like the husband can choose. No, I don't feel like having a child. If he's married, it's part of the game. It's part of the contract. And, the father has to give a child to the wife. Otherwise, he is at fault actually. But of course, there is different circles of the wife is unable to give a child or something like this. But in normal circumstances, the husband, he is supposed to produce that. So, so he said, yeah, okay, you're ready to have a child, okay. I make sure you will get a child, but just wait a little. Now it's like a Sunday period in the evening. Sunday period means the transit period between states of the days. Like we have morning Sandhya, is this when we have Mangal Arti. It's called. It's actually a Muhurta period. Only 3 Sandhyas. So Muhurta is a period of 48 minutes. So Brahma Muhurta, and these 3 Muhurtas are also termed in case of religious duties. In the Muhurta periods, we have to do religious duties. If you don't do some chanting, read, some auspicious thing, praying and so on, then actually it will be. If you try to do some material thing, let's just say like this is said in the scriptures. If you try to do some material activity, it will actually not be very auspicious time to do the material activity. Okay, for success in material activity, you shouldn't do it at that time, because this time is like reserved for spiritual activity. That's why it's actually, if you try to sleep during Mangalarti, for example, you may experience some demons coming like this, because they are very powerful. If you don't do spiritual activity, they can more easily influence you, because these junctions, when there is what you call smoke, the time of fog or like this. So Brahma Muhurta is very, very auspicious, most auspicious time of the whole day. And then you also have, the Brahmanas, they chant the Gayatri mantra. So it's called duties. So it's actually called Sandhya Niyamaha. It's like specific duties to be done on these 3 periods of the day. And also in the noontime, then also one chants for Gayatri. And also one should do some prayer or something like this. It's around 12 o'clock. And then also in the evening. And guess what? Then we have Gaura Arti. That's the 3rd Sunday in the evening. Actually, around this evening period, that is, so it means like the transference from evening to night, and the morning is like transference from night to morning. And then there's also like transfer from day to evening. I think actually the evening starts around noon, because then it becomes just, or how is it? It's actually some kind of, the sun is at its peak at noon. So after that, it starts going down again. So like this. So it's like, so that's why Diti, she wanted to have a child at that point when Kashyapa, he should have Gaurartik. She wanted, no, let's have a child. No, one shouldn't have material activity like sex at the Sandhya period. No, then you should do duties, religious duties. No, she wanted to have sex. So he said, no, please wait. Just after this, we can have it. But this Sandhya period is very important. It's just, it's not so long. It's just, less than an hour. So why couldn't she wait? No, she was very eager. That's demoniac, okay? But Kashyapa, so she actually dragged him into sex life, and Kashyapa, he somewhere or other, he just maybe he also wasn't so 100% strong that he could just flatly refuse. So by that, then Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha was conceived, and they're known as the greatest demons ever in the whole universe. So because Kashyapa was also so powerful, they're like the prototype of the demons. So after them, the rest of the demons were born. It's like they started the family of the demons. Okay, so she started the family of the demons by this thing, and immediately after they conceived the child, she immediately pardoned, Kashyapa and so on. And so, please, forgive me, because after all, I'm just a woman, and less intelligent like this. And, okay, so Kashyapa, and she also prayed to Lord Shiva, please, Lord Shiva, forgive me, because. And actually, Prabhupada explains in this connection that this also we should be aware of. If ever we become grihasthas and going to have children, it should be well planned, okay? Because if you do it at the wrong time, the Prabhupada explains here. Lord Shiva, he places them, he refers here to the Bhutas, or the ghostly beings, because he's always followed by these people. And they have their powerful time of the day is in these Sandhya periods. So he says, at that time, for people who have sex at that time, when they're not supposed to have sex, when it's not supposed to have sex in the Gaurartik period, when it's not. So Prabhupada says, no. If they do have sex at that point, then Lord Shiva, he places these ghostly beings into the wombs of the women who indulge in sexual intercourse regardless of the restrictions of time and circumstances. So Prabhupada says, such children are called demons or rakshasas. Maybe that's the reason why we have so many demons and rakshasas today. Because who is following this? Your question?
What is Rakshasa?
Oh, Rakshasa is you have like demon, it's like a normal materialist. He's just like, normal atheist or so-called religious person who doesn't follow much. That's a normal demon. But Rakshasa is when the demon becomes very much manifested. One becomes not like you have horns in the head, but in attitude like that. A heavy guy, is actually full of sinful thoughts and actions. Not just a normal meat eater. That's like a normal demon. But a Rakshasa is normally developing actually evil. And we have many of these in society. Prabhupada says in nature colony we have so many of these. And actually, many of them are actually in charge, of society. Yeah.
Prabhupada writes here in Bhagavad Gita that Rakshasas are a race of man-eating demons.
Man-eating demons, yeah. So she got some demonic children, deity. Very, very powerful. So since she was pleading so much to her husband and saying, excuse me and so on, and she was also praying to Lord Shiva, and so Kashyap, he said, yes, since you were praying to Lord Shiva and excusing yourself so much and showing humility in a very nice way, so Kashyapa, he was kind of satisfied, because Kashyapa was also somewhat angry because this had happened. But Kashyapa, he became pacified by deities, a nice behavior, and so he said, by this I give a blessing that in this family of demons there will be born the saintly person, pure devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. So that's the reason why Prahlad Maharaj was born in the family of demons, actually, because of the blessing of Kashyapa. So then we go further on. What was mentioned here was, we get the family tree that Samlag, Anurag, Lad, and Prahlad was born. Just a side mark of this, Lad, what is the meaning of Lad? It means joy, it means happiness. Yeah? So Prahlad means a person who is really happy. But then we hear another demon got born here, and that is Rahu. Now Rahu is a very particular demon. He appears in this lila, where the demigods and the demons, they were churning the milk ocean. The demons and the demigods are often fighting, and sometimes the demons win, sometimes. No, actually, mostly the demigods wins, but sometimes maybe the demon win. Sometimes, they have to approach Lord Brahma or Lord Vishnu to try and settle the fight between the demigods and demons. So in this instance, then Lord Vishnu, he arranged that the demons and the demigods, you should churn the milk ocean to produce nectar, and then they should divide the nectar amongst each party, like this. So they got some nectar, and by the arrangement of the Lord, and it was going to be divided between actually, by the arrangement of the Lord, then some or other, he came as Mohini Murti in incarnation of the most beautiful woman. So in that incarnation, then Lord Krishna, he actually bewildered the demons so much that the demons gave away the nectar to the demigods. He just captivated them by being such a beautiful woman that they lost all their intelligence. So this is another instruction for us, that the beauty of a woman is making the man lose his intelligence. This is all in the scripture. Not only in the scripture, even in the West, everybody knows this is a psychological fact. So that's why man always has to, what do you call it? Men always, have to pull back, withdraw. They always, have to be the one who keeps the brake here, because a woman, she is like personified passion, like that. So man, has to keep his head cool. Always, like he has to do this kind of job, always trying to keep his head cool and pull back his senses by that. Otherwise he loses his intelligence. And in the Vedic culture, actually, a woman is supposed to follow a man. So if the man has lost his intelligence, where is it all going to end? In the demoniac children. And do we want that? Not even the woman actually wants that, to have demoniac children, even though she may wants to have sex at the wrong time. Of course, the man is also losing his intelligence. He also wants to have sex at the wrong time. And then the woman has to represent the intelligence. Actually, this is also common in the Vedic culture. That's why the woman is also called Dharma Patni. She's called the person who keeps Dharma in the relationship. So it also goes the other way. So there is actually said, all said in Bhagavatam actually, that the woman also is representing the intelligence of the man. That means the woman can actually also save the intelligence of the man. So that when the man wants to have sex at the wrong time, the woman can pull back and stuff. So it's like that. The point is they have to be married, otherwise they're animals and just gets children with anybody outside marriage, with all the demons like this. So the point is the demigods they were getting this nectar then to drink because the demons had lost their intelligence and the Lord in his Mohini incarnation, she gave the nectar to the demigods. That means also that the Lord is always favoring the demigods instead of the demons. But there was one demon who was very wise, more wise than other demons. He actually was so self-controlled. He actually understood that this is just the Lord who is fooling all the demigods. So the Lord is fooling all the demons as Mohini Murti. But he didn't get fooled actually. He was very clever this demon. That's also in the instruction was that the demons are usually the most intelligent. The real demons are super intelligent. But they're not devotees, okay? So actually the devotee he can be less intelligent like in material circumstances. Usually actually is more simple like this. But he's spiritually most intelligent. And that is what counts. So that's the explanation of why actually do we find some demons, especially the Mayavadis. They say God doesn't. God is you're all just Brahman and God is also just melting into Brahman. And actually Krishna is just you're all the same, even as Krishna and all this. This is demons speaking. Say no. But they have so much knowledge of the scriptures. They may even recite the scriptures we are reading, Bhagavad Gita, and so on, back and forth. And even may become amazed. And we can ask, how did Krishna give these demons so much intelligence? But he does maybe give that to them, but he doesn't give them spiritual intelligence. Because it's said that the real purpose of the Vedic scriptures is actually not in the verses themselves, it is actually in the bhakti you develop. And if you don't develop bhakti from reading scriptures and it's Shravana very careful, it's just waste of time. But if you just read one verse from one of the scriptures, or even one line, then actually, and if you develop love of Krishna, then you're perfectly intelligent and perfect. While the demons they may know all these verses back and forth, but they're still demons. So that's why scholarship or very intelligent persons we're not impressed by this. Just like Ravi wasn't impressed by the even beauty of the Lord, as he didn't get fooled, so also we shouldn't get fooled like this. So Rahu, he somehow or other he somehow or other just steered away from the whole scene of Mohini Murti fooling the demons. So he disguised himself as a daiva, as a demigod, and he sat down together with the demigods to have the nectar, because he was very eager to have this nectar, because this is the nectar of immortality. So he was sitting in between, but he chose a bad place to sit, okay, because he sat in between the sun and the moon. You shouldn't